You're listening to Those Dram Yinzers with your hosts, John and Zach.
Hey everyone, I'm John.
And this is Jordan.
And welcome to the final reveal of days 20 through 25, the Pittsburgh Whiskey Friends Whiskey Advent Calendar. All right, so I'm just going to jump right into this. So 22, we gave the backstory, right? I gave you the whole backstory of it, right? It did not disappoint. It had the peat. You know, it didn't have as much peat as it typically has had in the past, but it just had all those notes. It had a beautiful charness in the middle, sweetness on the end, decent finish. I gave it a Haas. I said 90-ish. And I was like, this is an Islay Scotch. This is like, there's no doubt about that one. So you want to talk about your...
Yeah, so for me, this was... well, you set it up too, right?
Yeah.
Smells like Scotch. Earthy, salty notes on the nose. Earthy and sweet in the midpoint. Medium finish. I'll be shocked if it's not, but I don't know.
All right. So, I mean, we are right with the region.
Okay.
We are way off with the... Well, no. No, we're off with the proof.
Okay.
And I'm going to butcher this, so I might need your help on this one. But it is an Ardbeg.
Okay.
And it is the... I'm going to just spell it. Uigeadail. Oh, pronounce Uigeadail. Uigeadail. Sure.
Yep.
Never would have guessed that. Thank you for writing the 54.2 proof. Yeah.
Huh.
So,
Okay, so, yeah.
raisiny tones of an old ex-sherry cask.
Yeah, so higher for Scotch, so, okay.
Mm-hmm. So definitely raisin with a little bit of pine, right? What did I say? Coffee. A little bit of coal fire. I said it had that kind of like that nice char on it. I like how they have the imagery on their site.
Like honey, a little candy.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting cigar.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Amazingly long and chewy with lingering raisin, deep mocha tones, and rich aromatic smoke.
I didn't necessarily think this was a long finish, though. Which
Me
is
neither. No, I feel like they're always like, I don't know, beefing up the finish. I'm just like,
I feel like you have to.
But yeah, so I am not upset with that.
No, that was tasty.
And Aaron, I thank you. Listen, you can do this in whatever order you seriously want to, and I appreciate and thank you for the consistency that 22 has had over the years. I'm happy with that. I am gonna stick with a Haas because I love all their stuff anyway.
Yeah, I would buy a bottle of that. That's tasty.
Let's see what. I think I didn't look up what's price, so let's look this up real quick. Whiskey Exchange puts it at 65. Caskers at 80, all the way up to 82.
I'd say it's probably around like, so I see Mash and Grape, I see Blackwell, those two sites you use often, right?
Yeah.
That's Astor's 85. It's right, but I'd probably guess right around that.
Mm-hmm. I think this would. I think I would still stick with a Haas on this one, even with that price range. I literally don't have, as much as I like Scotch, I don't have many on my bar. My brother is the one that usually has most of the Scotches for me, but no, I'm stick with that.
Yeah, that's tasty.
Mm-hmm. All right, jumping right along to 23. Oh wait, need my phone on this one. So.
This is what you thought was potentially Makers, right?
Yeah. So I said caramel, vanilla. I said, you had said that standard, American whiskey, like notes and everything. I said it was sweet. I said the spice kicked in and continued. Dry with a medium finish. I did say it was bourbon, possible wheat, because it gave me a lot of Maker's fills. Haas, and I said 90. It was Maker's Mark.
Hey!
Fine Wine, Good Spirits 2022 Summer Edition.
Look at that.
He even gave the stave profile.
Look at that.
2 baked American pure, 1 seared French, 1 Maker's 46, 2 roasted French, and 4 roasted French spice. I had said 90 proof. Did you write down which one? You remember what you said?
No, I think I said a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Like 95, 98.
108.2 proof.
Oh, so kind of just like the first one, drank lower than we thought.
Way
it was.
lower than I thought, which I'm okay with that. Makes me feel like I'm actually, getting somewhere with my palate.
Yep. Yeah, because it didn't smell like a high proof bourbon either.
So I'm pretty proud. That's the one I was like, I'm pretty proud of myself on.
Oh, that's good.
And I don't know if that's literally because I was just drinking regular makers beforehand, but yeah, that's a Haas. And normally I'm not I shy away from like some of the like fine wine, good spirits, like picks and stuff, just because I don't know. Ones I've had in the past is just like they make it for the masses to sell it. You know what I mean? But like when the group does picks, or like I know you guys do picks, like you're trying to be different, right, than a standard. So I've typically stayed away from theirs, but I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was tasty. I'm interested to see what 24 is, because that was...
Yeah, so 24, right? We both said it was a Scotch. I said it was a light peat with a little bit of brine. I said it had a weird burnt cheese. I don't know where that came from, but that's just what I've not had burnt cheese in a while. Finish had pepper, dried it out. I said it's downtown because I wasn't like blown away by it.
It just existed. This whiskey just
was there.
Existed.
Yeah.
Right.
And I said 85 proof.
Yep.
And it was Bunnahabhain. I always say 12 year.
Okay.
12 year. Islay Scotch.
0.6.
Which, okay, so.
Wow, that drink's way lighter than its proof.
Way lighter than its proof, and not a typical Islay. I really thought this was. I didn't write anything, but I was starting to write, one of the other regions, because it really was not like the peat. That was the one I said, like, maybe this is like finished in like a peat barrel, because it's very light. So kind of shocked by this one.
Yeah, this is different.
Fresh and aromatic, they have on their site. Fruity floral with hints of dried fruit. The palate is light with fruit notes, nutty flavors.
I mean, I still wouldn't buy a bottle. Right.
Yeah.
I have a glass, but again, only because I think when we recorded the other episode, this would get touched like once a year by me, if that.
Yeah. 60s.
Yep.
Honestly, if this was like the Space Side or a Highland or something, I'd be like, all right, I would possibly like consider changing this. But the fact that it's an Islay, when I want an Islay, I want what 22 was. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking for
you want that punch in your face,
yes,
right? Yep.
I'm not, while I didn't think this was bad, I just, comparison to the rest of the ones that are from that,
Yep.
I'll stick with a downtown, unless you are a huge fan of this brand.
No.
But,
no.
But yeah.
It just exists.
Mm-hmm. All right. So 25.
It's the grand reveal, right?
Yeah.
Capstone.
So it was.
Yep, this makes a lot of sense now that you show that.
I'm gonna.
Okay.
Is it Glenmorangie or is it like Grimlorange? Like the way they mash letters together. I don't know.
Yeah.
A Tale of Winter, Marsala wine cask finish. So again, that crazy note on the nose has to be because it is finished.
It's funny because I have a few of their finished bottles, and this is.
Do you?
This is not now that you show it. I'm like, oh yeah, this all makes sense now.
Mm-hmm. And that's the other thing too, is I know nothing of wine, and really when I drink wine, it's the fruit wines that my dad and his buddies make. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I'm not really like jumping into like the wine. I mean, I already have enough with the whiskey.
Yeah.
you know. So
exactly.
when we have these wine cask ones, it always throws me off, and that should have been a red flag that I was so thrown off. Liquor Barn puts it at 94.
It's probably about right. The past
Bucks.
ones I've gotten have been around 90-ish.
Yeah.
They're not inexpensive.
Do they have
by no
Liquor
means.
Barn? Did I say the proof? Did he? Yeah, he told me the proof. Did I say it? I don't remember anymore. 90 proof.
90 proof.
Which I think you and I both were agreeant. We thought that was way on the 80 side.
Mm-hmm.
But I said Haas because I thought it was so different. I had no idea what was going on here.
I think I said the same thing.
I love the logo. I love all that. I think this would grab me just from marketing in general.
The past ones I've had have been pretty tasty.
Yeah.
Right. And most people I've poured for have enjoyed them.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't think you'd be disappointed if you picked up a bottle and shared it with friends.
Yeah, definitely not. I feel like my brother would. I have a couple. I have like a sample box down there.
There you go.
Of just I don't think it's one of these ones, but
They did one finished in Tokai barrels, which was
interesting. What is that?
it's a Hungarian wine barrel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think the most interesting barrel finished I've ever had, and again, you've had a lot more than I have.
Yeah.
But Angel's Envy Rye, like there's the Angel's Envy Rye, the like rum, but it was like something. It was like 3 or 4 times used, and
so it's actually. I know. Let me preface this story really quick, and I'll go on a little side note for the listeners. But love Angel's Envy Rye rum. Right, I actually recommend it to a lot of folks, especially those who think they don't like drinking whiskey, because it's almost as if there was ever a classification of dessert whiskey, this would lead.
Gotcha.
This would lead the charge, right?
Okay.
So when we go on tours, I honestly hate, unless the brand's flying us in for something, I hate letting them know who we are. I just want to take the tour like anybody else so I can say my experience. So I'm on the Angel's Envy tour, and this is a few years ago, and they get to the barrel part, and they talk about how they're finishing them. And I asked them straight up, I'm like, do you guys, how many times you use the barrel? I'm like, well, we have a cooper on site, and they rebuild them when they're done. And then I asked them about if they charge the barrels or not. They said, yep, we do. And I said, okay. And the key implicit thing there was that they didn't answer was between dumping that barrel that you just recharged and filling it with whiskey. How long do you let it sit or drip out, right? Because it is so strong rum finish that that's just my assumption would be a very juicy soaked barrel that they're doing. But that's why you get, when you talk about that, that's why you're going to have that strong rum finish, because
we were talking earlier about I went on the one trip with my buddy Steve that was on, and that we did a whole round table for the podcast. I brought all the equipment with me and everything, and that's what we reviewed on that one. Was that one, and everyone was just like, "This just is not what I was expecting. Like, it is all over the place in a good way."
Yeah.
But that was the most, just because again, it just like bounces you all over the place.
I mean, sometimes people ask for a cocktail. I'll honestly just throw a cube in a glass with that and toss on a cherry, and I'm like, here you go. And they're like, oh, this is a great cocktail. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Well, again, Jordan, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is super fun. This is super fun.
I thought this was interesting to bring you. I mean, again, it's blind for me, so I had no idea what I was getting you into.
Yeah.
But I do think this was like all over the place.
Super fun. And this was fun for me. I normally stick to American whiskeys in those categories. This was very enjoyable. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Well, this is it. That's all, folks. Again, I'll say, Aaron, cheers to you, sir, for everything, for putting this together. Just everything you've done for us on the show. Again, Jordan, cheers to you. Thank you for coming on. Looking forward to doing a deep dive with you once the holiday's over and we get into next year. So I guess the only thing left to say is cheers to Yins.